caught straight away, and PRT will punish him. So a great start for TeamOne, as another bullet has been put in. This time it's simple. Flamey also exploding out of connector, takes off the head of Mobs and goes in for seconds. He's also got a point to prove. There's been a lot of debate, a lot of criticism coming his way. Maluk with the Glock puts down one, but now Perfecto is there to
enter, but Electronic Company will be in place.
Oh, he's in place to perfection with Simple. M4 at range. HE tossed in for good measure, and this really never got rolling. This after a force buy as well. So they've yielded nothing. I think I may have been bamboozled off the graphic, because apparently this was TeamOne's choice. This was not the pick of NaVi. NaVi went for nuke, TeamOne went for trade. So I think I bamboozled us both there, Dot.
Yeah, I mean, again, it's not really too shocking getting in position, but we see some aggression coming, perhaps from Electronic.
Yeah, Electronic gets up ramp, gets one, but that's probably not going to be good enough. As the team looks to spill out, the bomb's actually been dropped down. Someone has to go and get that. This is where the time could very well start to play.
They're not really giving them other options to pick up the pace, and that's the strength of having a good, strong CT economy. Good trade, though, at Inner might open something up for TeamOne.
30 seconds, bomb spill, but retrieved. And now a beeline across to the side, but Simple and Perfecto are just shutting it down. No real hope. They even have the bomb across to the site. And to be fair, the Pesadillo, he's done a decent job of picking off the head of Perfecto and may very well get a bomb plant for his troubles. So at least gets that reward, but Simple quickly snatches his life away, as is so often the case. And it's a successful retake for NaVi and a 6-1 lead.
Yeah, something's going to have to give here soon from TeamOne. And the problem is it's tough to make adjustments now on the T side, because with the CT economy flowing like this,
Bumich with a bit of damage, PRT and Mobs also being chipped away, and Perfecto with already 6 assists. Quintessential teammate is going to go down without too much of a fight to Pesadillo's hands. So maybe this is the moment that we've been waiting for, that we can rally behind for TeamOne to actually pull something off. Bit of an off angle here as well while the smoke will clear, but PRT decides not to push through and to actually back away instead.
Yeah, they're still getting stalled out, though, on some of these choke points. Now Electronic has found Skulls trying to do that lurk in inner yard, which he's tried to do a couple of different times on some of these outer hits. This time, it's been exposed early. Flamey still has this angle towards Ivy. That's PRT down. And once again, the herd is being thinned. Only Malbs left with no access to the bomb. And only really time on his side. Everything else against them. Low health, no utility. I mean, this is a battering.
Yeah, this is one of those score lines that it definitely paints the full fair picture. Mobs is just hoping to hold on to an AK at this point, and that's the saving grace. That's the silver lining on the dark cloud overhead.
It's not much of a silver lining, and I'll say that. As this is another round where NaVi will survive with 3 or more members. I feel like I haven't seen a round where, I mean, there's maybe been like one round where they only had like 2 left at the end. I don't have the timeline in front of me here, but it just does seem like these rounds have been absolutely dominant. At least
it's trying to solidify their own legacy going forward in Counter-Strike, and you know, they've been playing against some very stiff opposition. You got to put that in perspective, you know. And yes, it's been a rough group stage thus far, as Maluk gets a really nice shot into Flamey. So at least gives them something to play with. But now Electronic's going to get into box halls. 2 players there waiting for him. Should be going down the second he peeks in, and Skulls takes his head clean off. Finally, we have TeamOne with a 2-player advantage.
Yeah, they've never had this before. They've had a couple of 4-on-4s at their initial exchange. They've never had just a full-on 5 versus 3 like this. And if there's ever a hope to win around, it has to be now. You'd have to imagine they push Perfecto off the angle at Ivy, so they're starting to establish some various routes to start making an attack. Bumich, he's trying to see if he can pull off something there. Does get caught, but at least able to get away and reposition to fight another day here. But they have so many advantages now on TeamOne when it comes to map control. They're exposing back halls. They have players positioned towards inner. The bomb is in ladder, not committed.
They're making so much noise. Bumich could hear them both from a mile away. Plus, when he peeked up Pop Dog, he saw the bomb was there. So even though he didn't get the frag and wasn't picked off himself, it was information. Now, I think NaVi may be overthinking this one as they're rotating both players onto A site. Or are they? Because TeamOne are now starting to come out onto A as well. And Simple, Perfecto is still alive. Simple flicks across to take down Pesadelo, and they've just nullified Maluk. That's the bomb that drops with him. They don't even have to go for frags anymore. There's not enough time. TeamOne have utterly blown their own kneecaps off. And trying to sense and suss out what this potential play is. Flashbang, not affecting PRT, was saved by the dumpster and puts Perfecto swiftly into it. The TeamOne have the advantage, but we've been here before.
Yeah, it kind of was a gift wrap to him, though, to be fair. Like, NaVi at this point just seemed to be...
Oh, I think Dust has a couple of connection issues, so I'll just fly this one solo. Could be done pretty soon, though. Bumich gets flashed into main, and no one is home, so he dips out of there. But I think what Dust was going to say is that we've seen these situations play out multiple times where TeamOne have had much better advantages than this current round, and they have been unable to grasp at any of them. Just one smoke remains, a molly, a flash, and a HE as they look to push their way in. Excellent entry from Mobs. That's more like it, but they get shut down on Boots and Simple as well. Boots now sprays in for 2 more. He's burning alive, but it's completely worthwhile. And although Pesadelo's picked up the bomb, and he's trying to traverse across to the site, even if he does get a post plant coming up, I don't fancy his chances against Simple and Flamey on Ops. Now, if the 1v1 goes his way, maybe there was a chance, but Flamey has taken that away with authority, and 13-1 falls in.
Yeah, it's just another round where we get the same result typed out quite soon, because it would be up to them to just, like, force buy to try to scramble back if this doesn't pan out. Good nade damage, though, being exchanged. They do have Simple down as well over towards the Ivy side of things.
Great headshot, but it was at cost of a lot of HP. Smoke has now been put into place, but Bumich has wiggled his way outside of Pop Dog. Does spot a pixel just for a moment, and is cognizant of potentially being wrapped around from B site. So NaVi are putting their eggs in the A basket for now, but there's still 50 seconds to play with.
Yeah, and they've done some heavy damage to a couple of TeamOne's players, and even Maluk has been chipped away at a bit to where he's going to even be more vulnerable to a headshot ending his life. So it's one of those things where TeamOne definitely have some good things going for them. They're kind of playing more of a retake inner strategy, and they're kind of just gathering up at outer, which is a solid call. But there are some ways back into the round here for NaVi based on that health discrepancy on a couple of the players.
Maluk, though, puts the headshot in perfectly and a second to follow up. Electronic has to clutch a 1-on-5 with 20 seconds and no control. NaVi go in with consecutive rounds. Same start for Simple. Tries to get into Pop Dog. The spray through the smoke is sublime, and Skulls spilled down. Electronic now just takes the initiative, pushing straight through Ivy. Bumich deals with Pesadelo, who tries to get aggressive towards main. Desperation plays coming in. At least they have won that trade over on Ivy slide as Electronic is doused down somewhat, but there's still a minute and 15 to play with.
Yeah, Malv's caught a good timing to get behind Electronic there on the old bomb train lane, but as you said, it's still a massive advantage for NaVi with the clock, with having a player advantage, with Malv's being on only 5 health. It's going to be very tough for TeamOne to try to claw their way back into this, but the barrel has been spotted. Malv's able to catch Simple completely off guard and drop the incendiary to stop forward progress. It's going to force NaVi to kind of reroute over towards outer side. Now both CTs are playing together. Again, with Malvs on low HP, they want to buddy up and not get isolated. Malvs, though, decides to get aggressive in bot calls, clears that, knows they must be going outer now, so Maluk can swing that op over and put that focus on that outer yard. He does have an angle, just waiting to see something close. He spots a couple, lands the shot as well. This puts Bumich in a tough 1v2 now all of a sudden.
Feels like he's about to get swept in from Pop Dog from Mobs, but Mobs doesn't peek in. Again, because of his low HP, maybe very cognizant of that. And there's the wide swing from Maluk. TeamOne just about hold on for dear life. A post plant will afford NaVi some luxuries going into the next round, but
dire for the Brazilians and one Guatemalan.
It is most certainly a dicey right now for the CTs, but maybe they can mount a comeback. Perfecto says no, resoundingly puts the bullet in the head of Pesadillo, but then overstays his welcome, pushes out, and is punished by Skulls. Now, they may be able to get their hands on that rifle as well, and they're going to try and deny this form of bumych, who comes out with the Galil. Double spray in from Pop Dog, and PRT and Mobs can do little but try and hold on with their Deagle and M4. Only 2 flashes to accompany them. And our mollies, smokes, and more importantly, AK rounds are being dispersed. It's 16-8. We'll be heading into a quick break to let all of you guys calm down after that battering. And I'm not sure he necessarily heard that. Bumych is already down on B, and Perfecto's making moves around ramp.
Yeah, that's a really odd passage of play there. Electronic, though, seems to be keeping his eye out for pushes in the lobby and outside. Bumych, in the meantime, does get his opening pick. Pesadillo does get caught out here behind the double stack. He's good for 1, but immediately traded, which is great news for NaVi, who now have control of lower site. They have the 4-on-3. They have PRT low on HP, and now the bomb is down.
Bomb is down. 3 players remain, but PRT is a bullet away from death. Skulls and Maluk, try as they may, have got to try and rummage a path outside of these close-knit claustrophobic angles, and they're already watching at the top side as well. Skull spots Simple, takes him down, pivots back in. Player in decon is low and has now been fragged out. Smoking off the double doors. They've got a smoke that they can put down and potentially get that defuse kit. Bumych already downstairs on vent once again. Every round, even when they've been unsuccessful, they've got to be sight. Maybe not with the bomb, but considering they had Glocks and some Deagles thrown in the mix and very little buy, this is a great outcome. Simple slightly off on his Deagle aim, and Bumych has decided he's not really that interested in defending the bomb after all. He's looking for some frags, but nothing's really forthcoming.
See if he can't get a knife on someone coming up the vent. That's kind of his goal.
Get battered in the first map. It's sort of whatever. It's par for the course. Electronic, though, straight through, gets 1, instantly traded back, and Pesadillo gets the better of Bumych. Great turn of events. NaVi slipping away again. They still have 3 healthy players remaining. Pesadillo is incredibly low on 7 HP, and there's not a huge amount of utility on Skulls or Pesadillo, but TeamOne, they have the advantage again.
Absolutely the case. Pesadillo being low on health, though, is maybe a vulnerable target that NaVi can try to sniff out, but if TeamOne keep him cloaked, then it's going to be tough for NaVi. They're going to have Maluk still controlling that ramp room area. The rest can kind of focus up on upper and just keeping tabs on whether there is some type of outer cross. Utility being exchanged outside here. Mostly from Flamey's end. The rest of NaVi still gathered up inside lobby position. Flamey trying to sneak through towards Mini. He's been caught, however, so now they're limited on the angles they can take as they do come into upper. Simple gets a great headshot there. And now, all of a sudden, NaVi actually have a little bit of hope, Vince.
Yeah, most of the CTs have funneled their way off A site, so 2 players coming up lobby and 1 in heaven. 20 seconds could prove to be the final nail in the coffin, though, because 1 area will go unchecked. Simple, 1 on 3. 12 seconds to his net. Really turn the screws onto NaVi. Bumych already down. Finally, they get another purchase in. Instantly weakened. Electronic spray on point. 2 players fall to his wake. And the AK opens up outside control. Flaming. An important duel up against PRT, and he comes out ahead. I think he got dinked, but it was through the wall. So it took away all of that damage. Mobs may get the drop onto Electronic, who may not be anticipating a 3rd player to be here, and indeed, that will be the case. But it's still a 3-on-2 and advantage to the NaVi.
Yeah, it's a small victory to be won. Electronic had so much impact with those 2 picks, had such a great timing up close at outer. Perfecto takes down Mob, so now only Skull is left standing. He gets control of hut position. He's trying to maybe make a maneuver in through lobby. He will bypass Flamey, perhaps, who was in Squeaky Hall, but timing could catch him in the back. No, he is able to get away, so he might get the jump on someone, as they might have thought that Flamey would have spotted Skulls if he was coming this direction. But as I say, that Simple seems to have vision on this angle, and so Skull's chances at clutching are pretty slim at this point. Even with the kit, just doesn't seem like he's going to have a chance here unless he can catch Simple and get in. Maybe then he does spot Simple, great dink onto him, but still so much he has to cover.
Does have a bit of utility and a little bit of time, but he has to get onto the site right now, and he realizes it. I respect that. I respect that he had the aggression, the courage to go in the first place, but also the clarity to pull the plug when he knew the round was done. A bit of damage across, and again, Navi's economy not in great shape. That one lock, again, outside control, is falling the way of the T's. This time, though, a secret player has made a move in, but Pesadello's head has been removed.
Yeah, that was a big catch from Flamey. That second kill on Pesadillo means everything for Navi. That is really maybe the X factor of the round. As Navi are doing a great job, like doing this kind of split pressure play where they're putting aggression on both, you know, upper site through squeaky halls, as well as constantly having presence towards outside. And it's kind of forcing the defensive bit spread thin. And with Navi winning most of their duels, that they're really just kind of taking these early round situations by storm. They keep getting these advantages. Now they have the 4-on-3. PRT does get aggressive in lobby, does get one, but not going to get out of there. Great response from Navi to understand the situation and get that one back. Well, they expect another defense.
They do. Simple's watching it. He's seen the script. He's been there so many times. Mobs does get the death from above. 28 seconds to play with and instantly dips down into ramp. He's got a perfect read of the situation. This is a clutchable round now for Mobs, but he may have missed his chance. Time. Still somehow alive, but Flamey, who is really playing over on the side of NaVi. Electronic coming outside. It's really only Flamey that's been shining bright. But expect NaVi to have a very different go of it when the roles are reversed. And speak of the devil himself, he has struck onto PRT, Vent dives down, and he's expecting that maybe a fast rotation will be right behind him. That's another AK that's now traded hands, and TeamOne, actually a player behind, could be conceding this round. Pesadello's spray not quite there to deliver, but actually gets 2 kills from this. I thought he had no chance, and now it's allowed that retrieval to come into play through hell. On the L bend, they put down NaVi, although Pesadello and Maluk low, it's a 3-on-3.
Indeed. Bomb's still in possession, though, here of Navi. They still have some time to play with. They have Electronic posted up, watching some type of mini push from Secret, but now Maluk puts his op in a dangerous place. There's a big gap in that smoke. He has to jump across. He's able to do it, so they will slip a player behind, but that information has been passed. But luckily, Flamey has been kind of lurking around here the entire time. He's going to break some glass, put some pressure. There is a player just ahead of him, though. That's Pesadillo. He's able to get one, but Electronic is very quick to trade, and so this will allow a bomb plant for Navi.
Electronic and Bumich up against Skulls and Maluk. The HP does favor them. The firepower also favors NaVi in these positions. Maluk has the AWP, but no reason to peek him at this point. The bomb is planted out in the open. And there's a flash and a smoke, but not much else on the collective belt of TeamOne. Bumich goes down first. Electronic gets perforated straight afterwards from the M4. TeamOne successfully get the retake and successfully take the first half 9-6. We'll find out if here and now, though, NaVi still need to get the job done. Do concede by 3 as they trail, but they can easily bounce back if this second pistol goes in their way. Flashes and mollies, but they're going to line up for Electronic. Only gets one in the meanwhile, though, on PRT. Puts him down pretty quickly afterwards. Simple gets aggressive with the CZ. Straight through on Squeaky. Takes down his adversary and then pulls the plug afterwards. Pesadel around the back, though. Takes them both down with ease. In a 1-on-4, he's half the odds, but still needs to get onto the site where the bomb is currently there waiting for him, and the timing nearly works against him. He could be getting flanked in as well from Vents. He realizes this, but he's been tagged down to 31 HP. There's still a minute to play with, but Flamey, he is not slowing down. A flurry of grenades firing their way on towards the hut. Molotovs, flashes, smokes, everything tossed in. But NaVi have got that blockade set up. The impenetrable defense, the fortress, has been put into place again, and considering that they tossed nearly everything they had onto the site and they've only lost casualties, they've only taken pain. Now they've got a smoke and flash left. They're going to try and do what they can to limp their way towards the site, but they're being cold where they stand. Yes, PRT gets a frag, and maybe even a second onto Electronic if he's not careful. There's not really much he can do about this, to be fair. He needs someone to come and help him out. Now Flamey is the man to do the job.
He's just jumping over bullets.
He's literally dodging bullets left and right while Flamey comes in to clean up the rest. And although he'll go down, and potentially even in the driver's seat of the map. Yes, behind this could be a flurry of extra rounds as well. Bumich had the right idea, just slightly off on the timing. Incendiary behind it into Squeaky, which has been extinguished instantly. HG up and over, but they don't check. Oh, it doesn't matter. Bumich misses his opportunity. These last 2 rounds are going to be one that he wants to forget real quick. And NaVi will be paying the price in full as a result. It's hard to see how they can get back onto the site with a 3v5 deficit.
That is very, very true. It does seem like saving this AK and utility would be probably the choice at this point that they have to make. I'm sure it's not one that they're happy about, but it's one that's required of this scenario, as their money is still very low. And so TeamOne will tie up the game, and now they have a huge chance to go ahead and take a lead, with Navi's funds still being quite grim. So TeamOne might just do it, Vince. They might just put Inferno in the cards.
They've certainly dialed it in. 4 rounds away from taking us to that position. Case of how these last few rounds have been swinging in, and it's another very aggressive round from TeamOne. They've perfectly pincered straight through any other gun than the USP, and maybe some kills have been forthcoming, but the AK has now shown itself. Pushing through is Flamey. Round the back towards lobby, but the AWP is up to the task. And it's looking good for TeamOne to take the lead on the home stretch of Nuke. And what a shock this would be. This has been a safe paradise for NaVi for the longest time, and yet TeamOne, they're on the brink of doing it.
Yes, they are, Vince. To be fair, Navi haven't really had much to say about it these last couple of rounds, considering what they've had to work with firepower and utility-wise. They should be back to where they need to be next round in that regard. As Simple's trying to look for some exits here. We'll find one. Finds another, actually, as well. Not able to reclaim anything else, though. And position and towards lower side. This is very much a replay of what we saw in the previous round, but it's starting to unravel the same way. The defense from Navi, while they're conceding that ramp room, it's calculated. And they're able to cover elsewhere just fine. They're able to get that early man advantage thanks to Electronics sniffing out PRT, probably towards outside if I had to guess based on the patterns we've seen in previous rounds. Pesadillo, though, big catch onto bumych. Unlocking this upper sight. Skulls on the Perfecto. That's going to reinforce it. And all of a sudden, TeamOne, they have a way to plant, and they've put Navi in a spot where they do not feel comfortable probably trying to go for the retake here. They will have to concede this round, save these M4s. But now they're not even carrying that over. Electron's been caught by Malbs, and this is getting quite grim for Navi. TeamOne doing such a great job to kind of erase the memories of map 1, to erase the comeback effort Navi posted up in the first half, and to just keep their composure and keep on grinding out rounds. And now they're up 14-13 and have Navi up against the ropes as far as what they have to utilize going forward.
I am so shocked that this is actually coming to fruition. TeamOne, so clean on the pushes, but there's a bit of sloppiness again seeping in, like bumych and likely will be a dead man, and he has a good idea, Simple, as to where he's currently positioned. So PRT does go for that peak. He should go down. Electronic in the meanwhile, though, puts his FAMAS to use, and it's Maluk that has been sent sprawling out.
Yeah, that's a big opening pick. Now, they had this last time. They still wound up succumbing to an upper take from T1 due to a great entry through Squeaky Hall from Pesadillo. And again, TeamOne looking to test the waters at upper, but bumych was there early this time inside the hut. But again, they're getting the favorable trades. Luckily, Electronic gets that kill on Mini, and that gives Navi some hope thanks to Flamey's efforts as well.
Pesadillo 1-on-3 to try and clutch this one down and really hurt Navi. Put the beating onto them. Won't be happening. Simple holds his line.
And so Navi seemingly doing their part, Vince, to stay in playoff contention. Again, those other series are still going on, though. There's other determining factors. And we see Flamey, though, lighting up 2 more, Vince. It's looking like the end.
Simple missing a shot that you'd expect him to land. Reputation preceding him, but the slow peak doesn't really fare well for the T's. They just swarm Simple, though. So finally, the talisman has been laid to rest. Could be the last time in this map, unless Skulls and Maluk can clutch out this 2-on-3. They at least have a slight reprieve of being able to retrieve the bomb and head towards the B site, where there are players waiting for them, though. So there's no easy way forward. NaVi have a good read of the situation.
Yeah, they do. They have coverage here, like you said, with that M4 of bumych playing towards that control side, so he will be able to spot them. That smoke will also kind of sell what's happening here. bumych trying to put the pressure to make his presence known, so they can't just safely go for the plant. They have to feel like they could get peaked. He's trying to buy time for a rotation, however, is his long-term goal. There's still a lot of time left here, maybe even a way to vent up, but no, they will plant lower. Now it's going to come down to the Navi retake with man advantage.
Luke in a good position. I think that scope in gave his spot away. Allowed bumych to stay alive a little bit longer. Electronic making sure Shadow is clear. Molotov does just that. Player down to the right-hand side. There's only a certain amount of spots at this point that players could be residing in. Na'Vi should be checking their angles, but Skull spins around for two out of nowhere, and now it comes down to Perfecto, who connects the headshot downtown onto Maluk and saves the round and takes Na'Vi to a 2-0. We'll be headed to a break. When you rejoin us, we'll be breaking down all of that madness.